Hi.
All right, guys. Ooh, what's that?
Blossom from the other video.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh, yeah, check it out on, what did we name that one?
That was reading and art, I think.
Yeah.
We did a character analysis.
This was the art parts.
Yep.
So, check it out. Sneak peek. All right, welcome back to Axoschools Virtual Classroom. Today we're not going to be doing reading and art, but we will be doing science. A few weeks ago we went over the skeletal system, but today we want to teach you more about the body. I've linked a vocabulary sheet below that you might want to fill out while we're going through the vocab because there are a lot of terms today.
Yeah, we want to teach you how to move and the Yeah, we want to teach you how to move and the terms that go along with the muscular anatomy and movement.
Muscles are how we move and live. All movement in the body is controlled by muscles. Muscles are made up of cells called myocytes, and we'll go over a little bit more about those later.
Nice. I know that there are some muscles in the body that you can move without even thinking about moving them. Mandana, can you think of a muscle that moves without us thinking about it?
The heart.
Yes, you're right, which good thing because our heart beats from 60 to 100 beats per minute. So if we had to remember to tell it to beat each time, I'm scared I'd forget. I'm really thankful that that does it on its own, right?
Me too.
Yeah, same. That would be a lot for anybody to remember. There are other muscles that are controlled by our thoughts though, and allow us to do specific things and move around. Moving your arm is a good example of this. Your bicep contracting coupled with your tricep relaxing causes your arm to bend at the elbow. All of our muscles together make up the body's muscular system.
I have a question. How many muscles are in the human body?
It's a really good question, and it's actually a question that's debated. But there's thought to have 650 skeletal muscles in our body. But regardless, skeletal muscles are under our skin and cover our bones.
One thing that's really cool about muscles is that we don't have to think about moving each individual muscle to complete an action. Mandana, can you stand up for me, please?
Why?
Just go ahead and stand up. See? Mandana just thought, okay, why is Danielle asking me to stand up? And then she just went ahead and did it, right? Her body just moves the muscles it needs to for her to be able to do that. The same thing happens when we go running. We just think about running and then our bodies move the muscles it needs to in order to complete the action. So let's get into how muscles work. And Mandana, you can sit down. Thank you.
She was so confused. She goes, thank you. When we want to move, we have a thought, okay, which is a signal to the brain. That signal travels down the nerves to the muscle. When the muscle gets a signal from the nerve, protein and chemicals release energy to either contract or have the muscle relax.
And muscles work by expanding and contracting or relaxing. Muscles often come in pairs. An example of this is the biceps and the triceps in our arm. When the bicep contracts, the tricep on the other side will relax. This allows our arm to bend. When we want to straighten our arm back out, the bicep will relax and the tricep will contract.
Nice. That's a really good example. So muscle pairs help us to move back and forth in movements. When the muscle contracts, this actually pulls the bones it's connected to closer together.
Yep. Now there are 3 types of muscles that we need to know about in the human body: the skeletal muscles, the smooth muscles, and the cardiac muscles.
The skeletal muscles are the muscles we use to move around. They cover our skeleton and move our bones. They are voluntary muscles because we tell them to move.
Yep, exactly. And sometimes our skeletal muscles are called striped or striated muscles because they look striped like this. I'm going to pull up a screen share real quick. But skeletal muscles are voluntary because we control them directly with signals from our brain. So you guys should be seeing types of muscles, do you?
Yep.
Okay.
We see it. All right, so on this diagram, you can see the 3 different kinds of muscles and examples of where they're located as well. So you have the cardiac muscle, and you can see what that muscle looks like in between the heart and the words cardiac. So all of those things that look like little tubes across there are actually what those muscles look like if you were to look at them underneath a microscope. Now, one thing to remember is that myocytes are the muscle cells that make up each of these different types of muscles. You can see how all 3 of these muscles look a little bit different, and it's because of those cells that make them up. The smooth muscles are special muscles that don't connect to our bones like our skeletal muscles do. They actually control organs within our body. These muscles work without us having to think about them, and they contract very slowly and automatically. They're called involuntary muscles because we don't have to think about them.
The last type of muscle is the cardiac muscle. We don't have to think about this one either. Cardiac muscle is a special muscle that pumps our heart and blood through our bodies. It is also a voluntary muscle.
Yep. So we have our 2 involuntary muscles, our smooth muscle and our cardiac muscles, which we don't have to think about. And then we have our 1 voluntary muscles, which are our skeletal muscles. So let's talk about muscle memory for a second. Muscle memory is when we practice an action over and over again. So these are going to be with our skeletal muscles that we're trying to train. It allows us to become more skilled at certain activities such as sports and music. Mandy, what kind of muscle memories do you have?
So that's a really good question. I used to swim all the time, like ever since I was 4 years old, all the way through college. So my muscle memory, I would say my biggest muscle memory is freestyle, right? The stroke, okay? So my muscles know what to do because I can't even tell you how many laps I swam in my lifetime. It's absurd. So we used to actually do this drill. This reminded me of this, but we used to do this drill where we had to swim from the blocks all the way to the end of the pool and do a flip turn at the end. But we had to do it with our eyes closed. So we relied on muscle memory to know when we were approaching the wall to do a flip turn, which was helpful in us envisioning our races and all sorts of things. So it was kind of a cool drill, but I think it kind of speaks to this muscle memory.
Wow, that's incredible. Mondano, what muscle memories do you have?
Well, I don't have swimming, but I've been playing soccer since I was 3 years old to the age I am now. I'm not playing at this moment because of what's happening in the world, but I'm on hold for right now. But so for soccer, the muscle memory that I have is in my hamstrings because my hamstrings, I run in soccer a lot. Basically, soccer is basically just you running around with the ball. So I always have to be working my hamstrings to be running. So my leg muscles are very important in soccer. And basically all the drills that we have to do in soccer all have to have something to do with your legs. If they have something to do with your arms, it's not soccer because hands are illegal in the soccer world.
Unless you're the goalie diving.
Unless you're the goalie, yes, correct. But so yeah, I have to focus a lot on my leg muscles when it comes to soccer.
Yeah, absolutely. And a lot of soccer players can do those cool tricks where you like juggle soccer ball like 500 times in a row and all of your foot flexion, and I don't know how to do any of that. But I played basketball when I was growing up, still play. So my shot is muscle memory for that. I also played both the violin and the piano when I was younger and can still do that now. So those things that I practice are the muscle memories that I have now. And as we practice these different things, our muscles tune themselves to be more precise in their motions and to do exactly what our brain wants them to do.
Oh, that's why people say practice makes perfect.
Exactly.
Can we talk about muscle exercises?
Sure. Mandana, why don't you tell us a little bit about it?
When we exercise, we work our muscles, allowing them to become bigger and stronger. Exercise keeps your muscles strong and flexible, and that's really important for the human body.
Absolutely. That's right. If you don't use your muscles, they can atrophy or waste away, right? So essentially your muscles will shrink and become weak.
And the last thing that we're going to talk about today is what connects our muscles to our bones, especially those skeletal muscles are what we're talking about when we're connecting to our bones. We know that muscles are vitally important into moving these bones all around, but how are they connected? They're called tendons. Tendons connect muscles to bones, and they help form a connection between the soft, contracting muscles that you have and your hard bone cells. So that's all we have for today. Tomorrow we're going to go over some of muscle trivia and teach you some of the main muscles in your body so that you can show off your knowledge to your family and friends. So we'll see you tomorrow.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.